I got the moves. I got the moves. Oh, I'm making moves. You gotta move. You gotta make the city move. Like, whoa. I make the city move. I got the move.
As we all should know by now, one of the craziest NBA trades of the last few years just went down, and it honestly came out of the blue. After reports that Kristaps Porzingis was unhappy with the direction of the Knicks, it took less than an hour for the Knicks to finalize a deal, trading him away to the Dallas Mavericks. The deal would send the European star to the Mavericks, and everyone is hyping up the Mavericks' new team, and I agree. I think this team is going to be great, but I think the Knicks side of the trade is getting overlooked quite a bit. In today's video, I'll be going over everything that has happened in this trade and taking a look at both teams and where they go from here. If you're new here and enjoy the video, be sure to subscribe for more NBA content. But with that being said, let's talk about this blockbuster trade. So here is what the trade looks like. The New York Knicks have traded Kristaps Porzingis, Tim Hardaway Jr. and Courtney Lee to the Mavericks for DeAndre Jordan, Dennis Smith Jr. and Wesley Matthews in return. On the surface, it looks like a fantastic trade for the Mavericks and an awful one for the Knicks, I won't lie. My initial reaction to this trade was, why would the Knicks do this? They gave up a future NBA superstar in Porzingis, who has been out with injuries, and even gave up Tim Hardaway Jr., who's been solid these last couple of years. In return, they get Dennis Smith Jr., which is a bit strange to me because they already have Frank Ntilikina, and if they wanted Dennis Smith Jr. so bad, why didn't they draft him a couple years ago? I don't know, it doesn't make much sense to me. DeAndre Jordan is a great pickup, their center position is a bit lackluster, and I believe they're buying out Wesley Matthews, so there's not much to say on that. The Mavericks easily win the trade at first glance. They got rid of Dennis Smith Jr., who they were wanting to trade away anyway, because the duo of him and Luka Doncic wasn't working. Losing DeAndre Jordan is a bit sad. He was an important piece to the team, but Kristaps is seemingly a huge upgrade over him. Same goes with the loss of Wesley Matthews. But the acquisitions for the Mavericks are simply amazing. Kristaps Porzingis is a huge pickup for Dallas. With Nowitzki nearing retirement, what better way to replace him with the man called the next Dirk? And obviously, Porzingis is injured and we don't know how he'll play when he comes back, and I don't know if Porzingis is playing this season, but I'll keep it a buck. I am so hyped to see how this Mavericks team plays with him and Doncic. That just sounds so crazy to me. This team for me is looking like future championship contenders if Porzingis can return at an all-star level, there's no doubt. If I have to grade this trade for the Mavericks, I'd probably give it an A, and if Porzingis isn't as good as he was prior to the injury, maybe a B+. But right now, it's an easy A. You're probably wondering right now why I haven't given the Knicks a grade for the trade. And it's because it's kind of hard to give the Knicks a grade right now. If I didn't have an idea for what their future plans may look like, I'd easily give this trade a D or maybe even an F for them. But if what I'm about to say is going to become true, then this may be one of the greatest NBA finesses of all time. So, the reason why the Knicks traded Porzingis is because in the meeting, Knicks president asked Porzingis whether he was completely in with the team or not, because they needed to know. Clearly now, Porzingis said he's not in, and that's why he was traded. In the trade, the Knicks have freed up a ton of cap space, and I mean a lot. If they buy out Wesley Matthews, like reported, and let DeAndre Jordan walk in the upcoming free agency, they will have enough room for 2 max contract free agents. This is huge, because if you haven't seen the upcoming free agency, it's stacked. For example, Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, Kyrie Irving and Jimmy Butler are all unrestricted free agents in this free agency. Not only this, but there have been a ton of rumors revolving around the Knicks this past season about the potential of stars like Butler, KD and Kyrie signing there in the off-season. Not only this, but the Knicks still hold their 2019 NBA draft pick, and now after this trade, the Knicks seem primed to lose a lot of games. This could up their chances of securing a top pick, if not the #1 pick. With that #1 pick, they could draft Zion Williamson, one of the most hyped college prospects since LeBron James, and if not, there is still a chance they could get someone like RJ Barrett, etc. So what does this all mean? Well, this coming offseason, the Knicks have a chance to sign, for example, Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, as well as having Zion Williamson on the roster. Or they could finesse the league even more and trade their high draft pick on draft night, as well as other pieces like Kevin Knox, for Anthony Davis. The Pelicans seem uninterested in a trade with the Lakers, so if no trades happen before the deadline, it opens up opportunities for teams like the Celtics and most importantly, the Knicks to trade for Davis. This would give the Knicks a potential roster of Anthony Davis and one more max free agent like Kyrie Irving. A trade package of a #1 overall pick, which could be Zion, as well as 2 more young talents like Kevin Knox and Frank Ntilikina, as well as some fillers in there too, could be enough for the Knicks to get over the line in the race for AD, and might even be enough to scare off the Celtics. That roster is 100% a title-winning roster, and if all of this is accomplished, the Knicks may have just done the biggest finesse in the NBA's existence. Or it could easily go the other way, and they just gave up their future for the next 10 years. Who knows, I'm just hypothesizing here. But again, if all goes to plan for the Knicks, this could become one of the greatest trades in NBA history. Not for what happened in the trade, but for what happened after. But what do you guys think of all this? In my eyes, the Mavericks are still the winners of this trade, and they are certain playoff contenders for years once Kristaps returns, but if things come together for the Knicks, there is a good chance they can become a dynasty and at the very least, probably sign one superstar this free agency to go along with potentially Zion or RJ Barrett. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop it a like and subscribe, but with that being said, I am out.
Racks on racks on racks on racks on racks on racks, bitch. Racks on racks on racks on racks on racks on racks, bitch. None of my cars ain't renting. All my black, my windows tinted. Fuck a bitch once and now I'm finished. Fuck a bitch once and now I'm finished. Let's go. Racks on racks on racks on racks on racks on racks, bitch. Racks on racks on racks on racks on racks on racks.